to the Insureblocks Open Source. And I'm very pleased for this week to have a special guest. Yes, one of you brave souls from our community has decided to join us, and that is the gentleman of Oliver Volk. Oliver, say hi to the crowd.
Hi, everybody.
And we have, of course, returning to the show, Jessica. Say hi, Jessica.
Hi.
Rory, do you want to say hi? So stylish. And Mark, can you please say hi?
Hi, everyone.
Great. So, Oliver, you will have an extra question to the traditional ones, which is, give us a quick little introduction on yourself and also why have you joined the Insureblocks insurance community?
Yeah. Hello, everybody. My name is Oliver Volk. I'm working for Allianz, but not talking on behalf of Allianz because I'm a blockchain enthusiast. I'm interested in the technology since 2016, not from a technical perspective, more from a business perspective. Like we know all the discussions, Wallet. So we believe in the technology, and there's the technology, but similar to the internet, I can't explain it in detail, but I know what to do with and what business opportunities are there and what benefits. And the same for blockchain, but still in blockchain, we have the issue that the ecosystem still has to grow, and it's not in the mass market yet and not very mature. Some people would like to have it differently, but I don't think it is like that. Why I'm here? I'm here because I was volunteered, but I'm I'm also honored to be the first guinea pig to join you around. So let's see if after me there are other people joining, or if you say we keep it close again.
We're going to be very kind to you. Don't worry.
Thank you.
So, without further ado,
we are distanced. We are distanced, so I can't.
Yes.
I'm secure.
Oliver, could you tell us what you found in this week's announcement and press that you thought was very interesting?
Yeah, in fact, it's two pieces. One piece is linked to your discussion last time when Jess mentioned the middleman and how blockchain distributed ledger will affect the possible middleman. I had an interview with a student for his master studies, and the topic of the study was will blockchain get rid of middleman? And I think that it's not getting rid of it, but there will be other middlemen, because if we think about public blockchain system, there might be some middlemen getting out of the game, but in the private blockchains, there most likely always is someone running the system on administrator. So there will be other middlemen, like the transformation from before internet to after internet. There are now search engines or platforms, and blockchain is a big technology to build platforms, but that no one will run the platform. So the underlying technology might run by itself, as we see, but the applications using the underlying technologies, there most likely will be someone. That was quite interesting, because every time I talk about those topics, I raise questions to myself, which I, in the end, then reflect. So I learn very much. That's also the reason, or one more reason to join this round, because after every discussion, I have new questions and I got new stuff to understand. Another topic in the news was the Novi project from Facebook. They published that they will run their wallet for the Libra project with the Novi. So it's getting step by step things moving forward. Let's see when we can start the first transaction by using this.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Oliver. Jess, 1 minute to tell us what you thought was interesting in the news this week.
So I ended up actually reading through the follow-up article to the one that I posted in the community yesterday from Accenture about future systems. So this one was called 4 Companies with a Future System Mindset, and this actually included the company that Rory works for, so well done, Rory. So it was just based around the fact that insurance leaders are reducing the innovation achievement gap with a future systems mindset and method. So the 4 companies that were mentioned were Ping An, Swiss Re, Bonnier AB, and Lloyd's. And these guys are all breaking down the silos and leveraging cloud and data technologies to create agile businesses that have room to grow. So the particular thing that I found really interesting was the descriptions that were used in regards to the strategic attributes, and these were boundaryless, adaptable, and radically human. I sort of fell in love with these words because it's what the insurance industry has been begging for. I'm a particular believer in the radically human part. The description here was they empower humans to interact with machines, for example, through natural conversations and simple touches. And they adapt to humans, not the other way around. This really spoke to me because I sort of live and breathe this philosophy in my day-to-day life. Although I think that understanding these concepts and how they have the potential to evolve the industry and possibly even the perception of insurance could be beneficial to any company moving forward in 2020 and beyond.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Rory, your turn.
So, very nice mention. Thank you, Jess.
No worries.
My like this week was around an online training I did, and I know that doesn't sound very promising, but podcasts and trainings have, I think, become a bit of an echo chamber during the COVID lockdown. You know, everyone's saying everything is going to change afterwards and trying to use that statement to basically sell whatever vision of the future would allow them to sell more units. Does anybody notice that?
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway, this training I did took a very different approach. It was called Managing Contracts Virtually, and it was a program prepared really, really quickly, like within 10 days of the whole COVID crisis starting, by the International Association of Contract and Commercial Management, which is usually referred to as IACCM. And it sounds dull, right? It's a bit of a techie topic, but there were so many good things about it. And one is that it's really presented by world-class experts, and they do it really nicely to camera, nice pacing, bite-sized chunks, this kind of thing. But my favorite thing about it was that it made me tingle with optimism. It was really both really encouraging about what the world will be afterwards, but also extremely forensic about what has changed pre and post COVID. And in terms of negotiation, how do you do it now? You know, and one of their insights was, 90% of communication is non-verbal. How do you read body language in Zoom? Where should you position your Zoom window so you feel in control of the process of the negotiation? So there were loads of really practical things like that. It's about 4 hours in total, so quite an investment, but cut up into little sections, and I highly recommend it. Also, for those who don't know the ICCM, I think they're absolutely brilliant association. I'm a member, and I've got their pen. Anyway, I'll put a link to their website, and I would really encourage you to join it if you think contracts are important.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Mark, what is it you like this week? But first, 2 seconds on your background.
So this is Queen Elizabeth's room from the series Blackadder.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so it's there. Yeah, it's not the East Wing. That's undergoing renovation at the moment.
That's pre-blockchain, huh?
Exactly, pre-blockchain. Yeah. But my like is actually from a company that's over 100 years old. So it's the Dole Food company, and they've made some commitments. They've already done a lot of great work using blockchain at the moment, and they've got a goal of making everything traceable, enabled by blockchain, by 2025. And why are they doing this? Because they want to improve food safety. They've already made quite a lot of ground already. So, for example, if there's a recall need, they can check the provenance of an item in seconds, and that used to take them weeks. And on recall, time is everything, and for insurance, really important. But I'm also excited about what they're trying to do in the future. So consumers can literally be in store, scan an item, and see the whole journey, in effect, from its point to where it sits on the shelf. And what I love about that is transparency and trust. And I'm wondering what that could mean, as an insurance equivalent. And I'll put the Dole CSR report in the show notes, because it's a really great document to read on so many levels. They really, really embody what they say they're going to do. So I love that.
Are they part of the Food Trust by any chance?
They do operate on IBM's Food Trust, yes. Yeah.
Interesting, yeah, because it kicked off with Walmart's provenance tracing of a mango.
Yes,
Back
that's
in
right.
2018.
Yeah.
Thank you for that, Mark. Oliver.
Can I raise a question? Is that within the? Okay.
Yeah, of
The
course you can.
rules, yes.
Yeah, Mark. So I like those provenance use cases, but I always wonder how can they make sure that what is put in the blockchain is correct? Because if you say, well, if you think of Everledger or Lien, if you say with this is a 10-carat diamond, but it's only an 8-carat diamond. So how can you make sure that at the point of bringing in the information, and what you just described, there are a couple of informations putting in there from people who have different social and academic backgrounds. So how can you make sure that everything was put in is correct? Because that would be, for me, one of the biggest challenges, rather than just collecting the information and make it transparent.
So what I'd say, Oliver, is it's a great example of blockchain and other technologies working together and the social piece. So, you know, it can literally be, as it moves along the chain. So, for example, the farmer takes the produce to a local collection point. It's weighed. An official there notes the weight, notes the time, notes the farm that it's from in order to pay them. That gets recorded. It then goes to that depot and sits in the back of a refrigerated truck. That truck has got ambient temperature sensors, so IoT pieces. So for example, if the driver stops overnight and turns off the wrong switch, it could send an alert to the driver, but at least we can know that provenance. Then when it gets to the food manufacturer, they acknowledge the date, time, receipt, where it came from, until it starts to get packaged right into the plastic containers that contain a blanket of CO2 over the top as well to stop oxygen ingress. So we can trace it using a variety of technologies throughout the chain, and it can literally be right back to the farm. I mean, there's some of the guys, 30 megahertz, for example. There's a guy, Anthony Youssef, there. They've put some IoT technology that can be used on farms to detect everything from permafrost damage to hydration levels. So I think it can all fit, and blockchain's just a piece of plumbing.
So you have different kind of oracles, but some oracles might be still human.
Oh yes, they still will be, and some of it will still rely on a human to say, yeah, that was from you, Oliver, and it wasn't from Rory, for example.
Yeah.
So Oliver, what is it in the press that made you wonder this week?
Yeah, a little wonder about the topic with kind of censorship for Twitter, Facebook, and the social media, because it linked me to the question of, is code law and what kind of morals are behind artificial intelligence. So who's going to judge about what to control and how to control, and if we transfer it to the DLT world? So if we do program something which then will be law, which will be automated, or I think last week, or in the very first session you talked about parametric insurance. So this should be only a 1 and a 0 event, but if there are events where you have to make a certain judgment, which is not either 0 or 1, so who is going to define that, and what's behind them? And there is no global correct moral. So certain people think things might go this way or that way, but this is a very good example of, if we have tons and millions of data and we want to put it in a standard, it's much more complicated than if we have single cases where there will be one judge and we judge it because it's individual. We want to make many millions individual things standardized, and this is at some point not possible. You can't standardize everything, even if maybe some IT guys say it's possible. I'm not an IT guy, but I doubt that you can make everything standardized. It's most likely more like an 80-20 rule in other topics. But this is really what makes me wonder, how will this be solved? Yeah, because there has to be a solution. And if you start judging one person or one topic, then where do you end and where do you stop? And for blockchain, so what can you automate, and under what circumstances, and who is going to double check that? This will be very interesting for the future.
Agreed. Agreed. Thank you very much for that comment. Jess, what is it you found interesting? That made you wonder in the news?
Yes. So the last bit was the news bit. So then this is what I like this week, which is sort of off the back of Rory's semi-emotional, like last week, I sort of followed suit. I saw a post by Anna Marie Powell from Firefly, who I was on a business panel earlier this year with. And her LinkedIn post said, if you've recently been laid off and we've worked together in the past, colleague or customer, please get in touch and let me know how I can help you. Can I put you in touch with the company? Can I write a LinkedIn recommendation? Do you want me to send someone an email, put in a good word? These are challenging times with a job, let alone if you've recently been laid off. I thought this was a great little initiative. And off the back of this, I'm currently in the middle of writing a recommendation for someone myself. I think that spending 10 minutes doing something like this in your week would be able to make the world a little bit of a better place.
Completely agree, and thank you for bringing that up. It's definitely this kind of initiative we need in this time of crisis. Rory,
that would be another reason to stand up and clap, by the way, like they do in the UK for the nurses. It's really nice to be so proactive in sharing, goodwill and stuff. What had me wondering this week, Wally, was the impact that financial and operational pressure is going to have on co-opetition initiatives in our industry, and not just digital ones, obviously, but also digital ones. And I really don't have the answer. I understand that operationally, all insurers and reinsurers are under great pressure to deal with business as usual. Does this lead to lots of change projects being put on hold? Does it increase the likelihood of digital solutions being created outside and then brought in instead of being built together as market structures? Let's see. Probably doesn't do very much to the speed of delivery. Co-opetition frameworks are generally quite heavy, aren't they? And they can be quite slow in delivery due to heavy governance structures. So I'm really wondering, what is going to be the impact of this pressure on the shape of the industry's digitization?
Interesting. Mark, your point.
Right. Yeah, I was still thinking about Rory's. It's a question I've been asking myself a lot this week. So mine is around Minecraft. I posted this week as, does it mean that blockchain has gone mainstream? Because this week Minecraft has got a new plugin that enables players to place these assets in effect into some form of wallet. Yeah. So what we're starting to see is they can trade the assets within the world, within this virtual world. So be that things, currencies, and they can trade it elsewhere. So for me, I'm thinking, well, that's amazing implications in terms of blurring of physical digital, because you've got what people perceive as value over an intangible asset. And I'm thinking, what's it going to mean for a trust and exchange perspective? And then with my insurance hat on, well, you've got an asset and you've got risk, so that should be an opportunity. So will we start to see insurance products extend to this and these other virtual assets? So we've seen cover for wallets and certain digital assets. So there's people like Cover Wallet. And this afternoon, just for fun, I got in touch with Volt, or VO1T, not to be confused with you, Oliver, to see, because they insure crypto keys, and I just asked them, will you insure my Minecraft assets? And they don't at the moment. So that could be another opportunity. Are we going to see a new class of products and protection come out as a consequence?
Indeed. Now we're going to see also a Minecraft background in the next call.
I'll try and find one. Yeah.
Excellent.
I'll try and find one.
Oliver, you have to show us your T-shirt because it's quite cool. Excellent. James Bond. License to thrill.
But I was wondering what to wear, and I thought how nice it would be if there would be an Insureblocks T-shirt, but maybe next time.
I do have one, and perhaps I should start producing some and giving them out for free to the community. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a pleasure having you guys on the show. Oliver, thank you so much for being our first guest.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Very grateful. If you want to be a part, of our show next week or any of the forthcoming weeks, and to be a guest on our show, we'd love to have you. But for now, wishing you all a safe and wonderful weekend. And guys, thanks again.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Everyone, take care.